Hello, everyone. We're live. Dr. Chad here. And with me today is a very special guest. This is Debbie. Debbie has been a longtime member in our group. She's been super active. I'm really grateful for Debbie coming on. And she has a really great story about collagen and her experience with it she's going to be sharing with you. So if you're someone who's thinking about collagen, or maybe you just started with collagen, you're wondering how the experience can go and what's going to be possible, this is going to be a very helpful interview for you. So first off, Debbie, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and thank you for having me. I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, before we get into your story with collagen, maybe we start with what was the main problem that you were having before you decided to try Native Path Collagen?
Ah, I had a lot, but I think at the time it was my knees had just gotten real bad, really bad. And ever the skeptic, I pass over things I see on the internet. But being so desperate, I said, let me click on this. And I clicked on Native Path, and there it went.
Mm-hmm. And so you were having knee pain. What did that feel like? What were the frustrations you had around knee pain?
Ah, immobility was one thing, but it got to where even laying down at night trying to sleep, it was keeping me awake. And if
Yeah.
you can't sleep, you can't restore, you can't do anything. And the
Mm-hmm.
doctor had been giving me the shots, the cortisone steroid shots, and they weren't hardly helping
Yeah.
anymore. So that's when I said, I just have to try something. I just fortunately passed by Native Path, and I tried that one, and it worked.
Oh, that's great. And we'll get to that. And I love that you made that connection between pain impacting your sleep, and then when sleep's not good, a lot of other things start to go bad. And that's a great example of that, you know. And also,
Yeah, if you don't,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say,
I was going to add to that if you don't sleep, everything hurts worse.
yes,
And then when it hurts worse, then it's harder to sleep. It's a vicious cycle.
yeah. I get grouchy when I don't sleep either. That's no fun. And then the cortisone shots, it's a good thing to numb pain, but it doesn't really do anything to repair the tissue. And in the long run, what we have to do is really
Right.
repair the tissue. And actually, the cortisone shots to numb the pain over and over again can really damage the tissue. It can do a lot of harm to it, and cause the matrix of the tissue to lose its integrity. So that's one thing we always try to say is, like, it's good for the short term, but you don't really want to get in the habit of doing lots of shots. You want to change the root issue and fix the quality of that tissue. And that's what collagen does, which is great. You know?
Yeah, that's my doctor said essentially the same thing. He said you need to have a knee replacement. And I said, well, okay, not me, not now. And I
Yeah.
kept doing my research and asking people how theirs came out. And I haven't heard good results. I've heard about a 50-50. It's a gamble on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not willing to take that gamble.
Mm-hmm. And besides, your doctor giving you the option of doing shots, what other things did you try to do for the knee pain?
Um, Physical therapy,
Uh-huh.
tried that, and that would help a little bit because it's pretty bad, I guess. He says it's bone on bone and
Yep.
has arthritis developing in
Mm-hmm.
it too.
Okay. Yeah. And that's one thing we hear a lot too. People saying that they have bone on bone in their joints, whether it's their knee pain or their hip or their shoulder, because as we get older, that cartilage starts to wear down, the meniscus or whatever tissue we're talking about in that joint. And that's when it's really important to do what you can to repair that tissue, which is where collagen comes in. Because in a lot of those cases, you can do all the therapy you want, but it doesn't matter if you're
Mm-hmm.
not getting collagen in those tissues to help rebuild it and grow again. So that's really great that you picked that up. So you tried all those other things. What was different about Native Path Collagen when you started it? What did you start to notice in your knees?
It took me about 6 weeks before I was willing to admit that the pain had eased up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been taking 20 grams a day.
Mm-hmm.
And after about 6 weeks of being a skeptic, I said, this just feels better. It just
Yeah.
feels better. So then I said, let's go up to 30 grams. And I got on 30 grams for 6 or 8 months, I guess. And just really an amazing difference.
Wow.
Amazing. I could sleep. I'm not 20 again, obviously. And
Mm-hmm.
the condition didn't go away, but the pain just eased up so
I love
much.
that. I love that. Yeah, and one of the things we always say is it doesn't happen overnight. It's not one of the things you can just put in your coffee and the next day it's all good. You don't have to do it ever anymore. We used to. I called over 100 customers at one point. I was trying to get an idea of their how much collagen they were taking, what symptoms they were dealing with, and I found that most of them were only taking like 5 to 10 grams. And the research that we've done really points towards much more. 20 to 30, maybe even 40 grams, especially in the first 6 to 8 weeks, which is really great because you did 20 grams during the first 6 weeks and then you bumped it up to 30 and saw even better results. So it's a great example of what adding more collagen in your diet can do for you because there's a lot of ground to make up for. So I
Yeah,
love
after about 6 or 8 months, I went back down from 30 to 20 grams.
it. Hmm.
And I'm still at 20 grams, a hefty scoop of 20 grams. And
Hmm.
I don't feel like I don't want to stop or go back any more than that because of my age.
Yeah, I think that's a really good maintenance dose, and it's different for everybody. Some people are 10 grams for the maintenance dose, some people are 20, some people may even be 30, but you have to really listen to your body and how it feels and the pain that you're experiencing.
Right,
So I love that.
right.
How about this? Can you take us to the moment when you realized that native path collagen was actually working for you? When you noticed less pain in your knees around that 6 point mark, was there something was happening?
Uh, I was almost afraid, really afraid, because I really felt that the pain, this is it. This is all you get for the rest of your life, Debbie. This is it.
Yeah,
Find a way to live with it. And
hopeless.
I stayed, like I said, I stayed a skeptic because I didn't want to be misled. And when I finally had to admit it was helping, I was just almost in disbelief
Mm,
that, like a second chance at life, maybe I can really go on. And meanwhile, during that interim, I did a lot of other things. I changed a lot of eating habits, and I ended up dropping a pretty good bit of weight as a result
mm.
without dieting. I wasn't trying to diet, but I found out there's certain foods that cause inflammation. I
Hmm.
got rid of them. And so between the collagen and changing the food and losing the weight, you enable your body to feel less pain. You've got to
Yeah.
work with your body.
Yes. And I love that collagen kind of opened a door for you. It was a good first step for you to like changing a lot of things, and get one of the things we always say here at Native Path is we want to try to get you and your body back in harmony with its biology. So we want you eating foods that you're designed to eat, moving the way you're designed to move, sleeping the way and living the way you're designed to live. And then all of a sudden the pain starts to go away and the weight starts to come off and the joints don't have as much pressure and inflammation goes away. But if people are struggling out there, having a hard time, and they don't know where to start with collagen. It's a good first step because then it opens the door for you feeling good. And then when you feel good, it's a lot easier to make other decisions that help you feel good and you gain momentum. And all of a sudden you start working out
That
again.
is precisely it. The
Yeah.
collagen was a motivator. It
Mm-hmm.
just eased the pain just enough to give me hope. And then I wanted to go with other things. And I stopped dairy. I
Yeah.
just stopped all dairy. I
Yes.
said, if this maybe really work, let's do these other things also.
Yes. Yes. A lot of people having inflammation problems might want to do the same thing is drop dairy because dairy has some proteins in it can be very inflammatory to the body. And we're told a lot of things about dairy that it's good for the bones, does the body good, but that's not necessarily the truth. It's not necessarily true at all. It can often cause more problems. And you can get the calcium and the magnesium and the vitamin D and all the things that you need to make your bones strong in other areas. It's not an essential thing, for your bones and your
Yeah.
joints. Start with collagen. Start with collagen. So that's really good. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, tell us what life looks like now that you're feeling better, that your knees are less painful and you're moving around better. What's life look like now?
Oh, it just all opened back up again. It's hard to explain. It really felt like it was closing in on me. I'm trying to figure out what I was going to do, and it's all opening back up again. I'm still 70 years old. Don't
Mm-hmm.
get that confused, but it's opening back up for that age bracket. Now I can keep going, keep going. That's the whole thing.
Wonderful. Yeah, keep going. Keep
Yeah.
going. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's all about the quality of our life on that path. That's great. So awesome, Debbie. Well, one question I would like to end with is how do you like to use the collagen? Do you put it in your coffee or your tea or smoothies? How do you typically get in 20 or 30 grams a day? What's that look like?
I started out using orange juice. And then later I realized, well, I'm giving up sugar here, so I got to
Mhm.
find something else. I gave up sugar too, by the way.
There you go.
So I just tried it in water.
Hmm.
And you can barely tell any kind of a taste. It dissolves. And I wanted the assurance that this formula was getting straight into me without anything in the way.
Yeah.
No extra calories or sugars. I just wanted it to go in. So
Hmm.
I take it in the morning before I even eat. That's just me. I don't
I
want
think,
any food in the way either.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a great way to absorb it. You'll absorb it better that way, a little more fasted, a little more empty. So putting your water is definitely one way, or putting your coffee is another way, or your tea. But those are all great options. So awesome. Well, thank you so much, Debbie. Is there anything maybe you want to say to people who are on the fence and they're wondering, should I try collagen? Should I not try collagen? Should I keep going? Anything you want to say to those people?
Oh yeah. Get off the fence. Try collagen. Just what have you got to lose? Your
Mm,
body stops manufacturing it as you get older anyway. It's not going to hurt you. It can only help. Do it.
awesome. Wonderful. Well, Debbie, thank you so much. This has been very inspiring. I know for a lot of people out there, you answered a lot of questions that people are having, and really appreciate you coming on and spending time with me, and also all the activity and questions you have in the group. It's awesome. So thank you so much.
I love it. Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you for all your help. I
Thank
use
you.
your physical therapy techniques all the time. Thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Yes. Thank you. For everybody watching, you can always go to nativepath.com, go into the movement section. You're going to see all kinds of videos to help you get out of pain, exercises, things to work your core, your glutes, improve your posture. There's lots of things on there. So I'm happy you took advantage of that. It's really cool. All
Yeah.
right, Debbie. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Bye bye.